What up, y'all? It's your boy Will, or Tostones. We're back here at Tostones Gaming. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. We've been doing a Tactics Ogre One Vision run, alright, from start to finish. I'm gonna try to 100% it, man. It's a hard game, y'all, but we gonna do it. So the Let's Play is not dead. Look forward to that continuing soon. But here we are. We're at the Wizard Guide. It's finally here, y'all. It's finally here. And I'm gonna be doing a different format this video. I want to keep it short and sweet while still entertaining. So you should be seeing some action going on up there while I'm talking to you guys from my little script. And yeah, let me know how it goes. If you guys like this format better, or you want me to talk about the nitty gritty and then go to the gameplay like we were doing in the past videos. Check out the Warrior, Archer, Valkyrie, and Cleric videos in the description below. But anyways, let's get started, y'all. Wizards. They're one of the first classes you get in the game, but they remain useful throughout the majority of the game, to be honest with you. Wizards specialize in damage spells, and they've got the ability to cast one minor buff and one minor debuff, if I'm not mistaken, depending on whatever element you have assigned to them. They have the ability to learn all 8 elements, so dark, light, earth, air, fire, ice, electric, water. We getting places. We know a couple of things out here. They've got horrible mobility, guys. Horrible mobility. And they got weak defensive gear options. But it's alright, because they're going to be excelling, you know where? At the rear of your army, alright? Their spells are crucial for dealing big damage without generating TP, which is super important, and their skills allow them to adapt to any phase of the battle. So their main skills are going to be these 3 right here: Meditate, Conserve RT, and Extend. So Meditate is the first skill we're going to talk about. It's going to be extremely useful in 2 scenarios. The first is going to be probably, I'd say, in the beginning of the battle, when both sides are vying for a little bit of tactical supremacy, trying to get the positioning right. You know, you can afford to take the 40 RT penalty on Meditate to just generate a little bit of MP, and I'd say there's no real downside to that. The second time I would recommend using Meditate is actually in the heat of the battle, when things are looking kind of crazy and like you're getting real close to knocking out a couple of guys. Make sure that your wizard is well protected. Those guys on the enemy side are very weak, and you're just shy of what you need for that MP. You're gonna want to use Meditate, charge up that MP, take a little L on the RT, feel me? Lay back a little bit, and keep them well defended. Or you could even charge them up with let's see, what is it, with a Valkyrie or a Warlock with Electrify. Give them some TP. When their next turn comes around, you use Conserve RT, and I didn't even think of that, man. I didn't even think of that for this video. Anyways, those are the 2 situations. Next one is Extend. So Extend literally extends their magic range by 3 tiles. I think it's 3 tiles, or just it extends it basically, and that allows you to snipe people off from the comfort of the back of the army, and that's particularly useful for countering archers, Fusiliers, things like that, and you'll be safe, relatively safe. And then the last skill is Conserve RT. It removes the RT penalty from your wizard's next spell. So if you've got enough MP saved up, you can start dishing out extremely damaging spells relatively quickly. And that allows you to clean up the field or get rid of important targets ASAP. Some other noteworthy skills that I'd like to recommend would be Silence Ward. I think there's a hat that gives you Silence Ward, or a piece of equipment that does. But in any case, I like keeping them with Silence Ward at all times. Just gives me peace of mind. Efficacy and Clarity, I always put those on my wizards too. Jump 1 and Wade. These are going to be important for very specific maps where the terrain is just really garbage, man. Trash tier. You're going to want to have that jump, because if you don't have it, your mage is going to be stuck in the back or somewhere off in the battlefield, and it ain't going to be pretty. Especially if your wizard has a minor buff, like let's say, I think they can do Enrage from the fire tree, They can also do grace, which allows you to give your guys dodge, I think, from the air tree, the air magic spell tree. So yeah, you're gonna want to have your mobility in check, in order, and keep them up with the army as well. And then the last two skills, absorb MP, that allows you to steal, I think, like 20 something MP, something like that, from a target or an ally. And then trajectory, which is interesting because as of patch 980, Rakes put in a new ranged attack for mages, and that's gonna be called Mark. And you might be seeing it already, or you might be seeing it in a little bit. Mark basically gives mages a long range attack so that they could inflict ruptured on the opponent, and what that does is makes them susceptible to more magic damage. And why would you use this with trajectory? Well, trajectory. Well, it's because it's pretty good for new players too, to kind of get accustomed to how missile spells work. You get to see with trajectory where Mark is gonna hit. Keep in mind, like Rake said in the changelog, that missile spells start one elevation above the wizard's head, and it might hit in certain places where you would think that it would miss. So just a little tip for the newbies out there. I personally really like Mark. I'm gonna be abusing that in the let's play. I just really like the idea of that. Anyways, moving on to gear. In terms of gear, there's really only one way to go with mages, with wizards and sorceresses, I should say, and it's gonna be cudgels, hats, robes, and a choker, which is an endgame item, or an intelligence ring to boost up that DPS. Early on, you might want to try a mind ring in order to boost your accuracy, or you might want to try a side grade knife to give you a spell strike. So you pop that, boom, you can start hitting spells better. And then that would actually free up your offhand to put a shield on and increase survivability a little bit. So gloves can be used instead of hats. That'll give you spellcraft, which gives you a boost in DPS as well. If you want, you could also forego the cudgels for the spell book in order to get meditate charges, rupture on hit, and a shield if you want it in your offhand, and increase survivability again. But I just don't see the value nowadays, especially when you have Mark as your long distance range attack and you can inflict ruptured. I will say ruptured doesn't last too long though when you use it with the ranged attack, so make sure you have another mage nearby who can instantly capitalize on it, or make sure you have a warlock that'll accelerate your wizard and give him another free turn, and that way they can take advantage of that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I just don't see the value in sacrificing raw intelligence that you get from a cudgel when you've got the new Mark ranged attack and it inflicts ruptured for a little bit of time, and it has farther range than a spellbook as well. On the flip side, the spellbook would allow you to inflict ruptured and it'll last a little bit longer. So pros and cons, I guess. And then the last thing is synergy. I'm sure you guys are already seeing it up here. When it comes to synergy, some of your best bets are going to be knights, valkyries, and spellblades, clerics, and warlocks. Warlocks are an advanced offshoot of the wizard class. They're going to get their own video later on. Knights are going to be locking down the front and preventing enemies from getting too close. Valkyries and their versatility are going to be fantastic for the wizards because you can use innate lobber plus field alchemy and support them with magic leaves or herbs. You could also convert their TP gains into MP, and then later on your wizard can extract that using absorb MP every now and then. And lastly, warlocks can also use the lobber, and they can hit the opposition with whips, triggering false strike, making it so that your guys can evade a little bit better, and that's going to help for sneaky units that get past your front line. If they're really trying to hit your wizard, that false strike might kick in and save the day. And then clerics, of course, need no introduction. They're going to keep your dudes nice and healthy. Overall, what do I think about wizards? I think every team needs one. If you go back to the Let's Play earlier on, you see my boy Ethelred putting in mad work. Putting in mad work, man. The DPS is going to be crucial, especially later on in the game when you're dealing with beasts. Let me see, you got dragons, beasts, certain golems as well. You're gonna want to be able to take off chunks of their life without generating TP, because then that gives them their skills, and then things get crazy from there. So wizards are gonna be super helpful for that. You've got mad elements to choose from. You got 8 elements total. And yeah, I would say they're really fragile though, and their mobility is just trash. So really, I mean it, keep them in the back, keep them safe, keep them well fed, and whatever you gotta do, man, keep them alive, and they're gonna be great. I think every team should have at least one, especially later on when you get the crazy mage classes, like you get shaman, even warlock is cool too from a utility standpoint. Astromancer, which is Warren's class, I've never even used that comes so late. Mages have their place in this game, and I think you will not go wrong having a wizard on your squad. If y'all made it to the end of the video, go crazy in the comments below and type out well-fed wizard. Let's go. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the new format, got some tips, might maybe want me to go back to the old format, leave a comment. Look forward to new videos too coming up. I gotta do the night, and then I think we're done with all the basic classes so far once that night video comes out. And then I'm trying to see when I can start up the Let's Play again. We're in chapter 4, and we've got a ton of side quests to start doing, and we'll see what happens, man. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this new format. Try to keep it short and sweet, and yeah, man, I'll see you guys next time. Sub, like, all that jazz. Take care, guys. Later.